We do not disturb my phone real quick.
I hope that's what I did.
Mine is, yeah.
Oh, watch out.
Ding dong. All right. Here we go.
Here we go. Is it okay if that AC's on?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because our deepest wounds often reveal our greatest purpose. Welcome to the Court of Connection. Have my very best friend Jordyn here today. It's so special to have you here.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm so excited to see where this conversation takes us. This is my best friend of the past 10 years. She is an artist. She is a dancer. She is a producer. She is a mental projector. She is an Enneagram 4. She is one of the most soulful people that I know. And yeah, you guys are in for a treat. So grateful to have you here, Jordyn.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm so excited to be here. And I just want to say that I feel like, I don't know, doing this is so surreal because of how far we've grown together. And I don't know. I think it's like, it feels like a full circle moment, just seeing you sitting in that chair and like these lights and microphones on. It's just like, I don't know. If I would have thought, when I think back to like, the beginning, it's like I could have never envisioned this for us at that time.
I know. Well, that's like such a perfect innuendo into the first question. Yeah. So take us back to the season when we first met. Like, who was that girl?
Me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, me?
What do you remember about who she was?
Because I can talk about you.
This is about you.
I know. Yeah, I was in a lot of pain when when we first met, because I was newly sober. We're both sober, as you've talked about before on other podcasts and probably this one, for 10 years. And I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to have like healthy relationships with men, my family, let alone women. And when I met you, like, I don't know that I even remember the first time that we met, or maybe I do. Like, I saw you somewhere, you had flowers. I don't remember. I just have this vision. And I don't know. It was just such a natural progression and a flow. But I was just surviving at the time and, really lost still. I had some hope, which was a big deal, but I was so grateful for you because we'd literally be on Snapchat or, like doing different filters and laughing all the time and like to where we couldn't breathe and, just like laughing through our pain. And yeah, you've just been my biggest mirror in a lot of different ways. And I think, we pulled the card or you pulled the card and that says mirror. And I'm just like, I needed that so bad. I needed somebody who was going to stick with me and grow. And at that time, I didn't know it was going to be you, but that's what I was longing for, was just like someone to walk alongside me like that. And so, yeah, I was really afraid. But it was just a very divine recognition with you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember like the first interaction we had where I had seen you two at Westlake, but I remember this divine interaction where we had gone to this adolescent like treatment place to do, to carry the message. And Evelyn obviously was the person who really connected us. Essentially, I think it would have happened regardless. It was written in the stars, But I remember having this conversation with you after the we were like in an alleyway, all walking back to our cars.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, oh, we're so cut from the same cloth. Like, I just felt a very deep pull to you, and literally from that moment on, it was like we were 2
Inseparable.
peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, inseparable, literally. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember, and I'm getting so many flashes in the beginning, but there was I don't know if you remember this, but one night
I'm
this
like,
is when
"Oh, no. Oh, Lord."
no. When I still lived at Connie's house and we had just started getting close,
Oh, yeah.
and you came over and we laid something out in the front yard.
Yes.
Remember that? It was like a floaty, or what was?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I think it was
but
like a big couch cushion or something
yes,
random we found in the garage.
in the garage.
Yeah.
And we had the garage open, all the lights were out, and we literally just like laid out in the front yard on, just like, laughing through our pain and connecting. And what a powerful experience to be sitting here today as women who aren't void of pain, but know how to harness it and know how to lean into it and aren't running from the pain anymore,
For sure.
like just embodying what it means to be human in spirit. And that sometimes can be really painful.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I think like learning in retrospect has always been really annoying to me, right? Like, and when I look back at those moments, I feel so much like, I don't know, like just so much compassion and empathy and for both of us, and so much love that I didn't have before. And just like it's like looking back and being like, we had a little of all of this in us and I didn't see it at the time, like this woo woo, like sitting under the stars,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know, it's like piecing it together. And yeah, and all the pain is like worth it, but I really didn't believe that for a long time. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. And I feel called to share this because I think this has been such a beautiful, on the topic of mirroring. We have gone through our experience, our friendship, just mirroring back and forth to each other, like that, what that card said, where it's like, what's coming up in me, in this relationship. And having to look at some stuff inside of ourselves that was at moments painful, at least for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I remember, because Jordyn, for those of you that don't know her, she's a performer by nature, right? She's a dancer. She's beautiful. She's tall. She, like,
thank you, girl.
Yes, all the things. And like, when we met, I was like such, and you can share your own experience, but I was so insecure at that time, right? And I was overweight, and I just did not feel like beautiful in any way. And then I get this best friend, and I viewed you as like so beautiful. And, you led with like, even the way you walk, and with your shoulders back and your head up. And it's like, all of that's from being a dancer, but it carries an energy, right? And I remember feeling so in your shadows at times, and not by anything you were doing. Right? It was just where I was at, but I was glad to be there too. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was like, as much as I was like, had these moments of feeling insecure, inferior, right? I was also really glad to be there in the shadow with you, or in this like seeming shadow with you.
Yeah.
And then the more I got to know you and the more I got to see the real you, I was like, we're the same, like we're the same. And she's just mirroring something in you that's already there.
Yes. Yeah.
Like an untapped confidence. And, even though, and I'll let you share where you were at,
for sure.
But like, I'm just so grateful because there's been so much of that throughout our friendship. And, the things that I don't think a lot of people talk about, right, is that though you love someone, there's also still parts of that bring up pain and insecurity and doubt and, all of those things. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, there's so much there. It's like, I think a lot of my experience growing up, I had a lot of fantasy in my life. Just being a girl or a woman, like all of these old ideals of like what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, like being a dancer or being like this person, if like that walks with confidence or like speaks out loud consistently, like wherever I'm at, like introduces myself. I really felt like a fraud in a lot of ways at that time. And I really genuinely didn't know how to be myself. And so I was having this experience where it felt like you were my like safe place to like be who I really am and like figure that out. And like, although at moments like I had this idea of, you know, like what a friendship was or who I needed to be with you, it was just like, well, she hasn't gone anywhere. Like she, you know, it's like I'm messing up left and right. And I could feel like some of your experiences up against mine. Um, but the cool thing is like we worked through it with our mentor and all these. I know we were calling, you know, maybe not in the beginning, but like we're calling about each other. And like, I think for a long time, like I was in just this place of like trying to survive. And I just really wanted you to love me and like me. And like, I had a lot of experiences growing up, you know, that women were mean to me. And like, I'm not saying that from a victim standpoint. It's just like, you know, I felt really misunderstood and like very ugly duckling sometimes, or if I were talented or achieving stuff, like people liked me sometimes, but they were very surface, or I didn't have a lot of that depth that I was craving in relationships, especially with women. And there's a part, like I have a part in that. And it was like, I had never experienced someone hyping me up that really didn't have, like, even if they did have jealousy come up, that they weren't like exuding it, you know, and
or
like
really meant it.
right,
Really felt that way, right?
Yeah. And it was like, I could see that, you know, because we're both super intuitive, right? And so I think in the beginning, like, yes, we never fought. And sometimes I think about like, were we just both super avoidant?
Yeah, we were. We would silent fight.
You know what I mean? Like, we're just silent scorning, but have no idea because we're in our own little world, right? And for those who don't know, like Danielle and I lived together in the same room, same apartment, used the same bathroom for almost a year. And we were using the same car, like, and we never fought. And I look back and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember having anything come up, but I'm sure something did. And I just didn't. I was so afraid.
Yeah.
Right. I was so afraid to have a conversation.
Of course. I know there was like stuff about like using your expensive products, because we had conversations about it later.
Oh, we
you
did?
know?
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, just like stuff like that, just like normal sister stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, because that's ultimately like, there is a connection with you that is undeniable. Anybody who knows us knows that. Like, it's unshakable, really. You know, like, but like, going back, because you brought this up in me as something you said, where I was like, even in all of my insecurity, like, you were the greatest catalyst for me learning to love myself.
Yeah.
Like, you also hyped me up, because I think you could feel my insecurity, right? And so I could cry thinking about it, because I'm like, that was what made it so beautiful, because you were like, let me do your makeup, or let me put these lashes on you, or what, you know, and like, but you never named it. You never were like, oh, she's insecure, let me see how I can fix it. It was like this loving gesture of like, you know, like, let me just do this thing for her, you know, that'll maybe make her feel a little bit better about herself.
Already tearing up. How far are we into this?
I know. Golly, you know?
Yeah.
And like, that's why I feel so called to, and there's no mistake that mirroring card came up. Like, this is, I hope it reflects like how much, like, because in those moments when we were silent, scorn, fighting, or whatever, avoidant, essentially, it's because we loved each other so much that like there was this fear of abandonment in both of us, you know? So it's like, I don't want to jeopardize anything that would make me lose this connection that I need so deeply in my life, you know? And like, just to paint the picture a little bit more, like Jordyn and I were born on the same day, same year, 2 hours apart. And, you know, this circled in my ether recently where someone else, like one of our teachers has a similar experience with his ex-wife where they were born 2 hours apart. And he said he's, you know, honoring her in this post. And he said, you know, she came 2 hours after me because God knew I needed her. And like, that is 100% what happened with us.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I genuinely feel like I cannot see my life without you being in it. And sometimes at moments in my life, it has felt so uncomfortable, to be honest, because as you know me, it's like I really struggled with this level of dependency on people. And the way that would show up, I mean, it was mostly on men, but like sometimes, you know, in the beginning, and I feel like we've switched places a lot, right? And I'm sure we'll talk about that. Like our stories have like literally mirrored each other, or like we like switch spots a lot. Sister. Right? Anyway, but you know, I think I felt so uncomfortable at moments because with you, it's like I have felt that, you know, when people talk about like having kids or having their mom, or, you know, like, and I've experienced this with my mom to a degree, but that fear of losing them being so deep that it's like, how do I show up as a loving human being? And how do I show up as the woman my higher power, God, the universe wants me to be, with this level of like fear that keeps coming up? You know, and it was uncomfortable because I was like, surely this is not, you know, going to be forever, or my skepticism would just always come in because it's like, I felt so at home with you. I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Right. And because that's been my experience with like a lot of family members and, you know, just friendships. And so I think for a long time, I was like, am I capable of showing up and, you know, just doing the work to be a part of a relationship like this where I care about this person so much, and just not creating this this toxic place of like hurting you, because I had done that so many times, you know. And so it's been so relieving that that has not happened. But yeah, for a long time I was uncomfortable because I just kept going back to this place of like, I'm unworthy. I'm unworthy of a relationship like this, or something to feel so like that soul recognition. So yeah. I know.
I just love you so much.
I love you too.
I love this. So who are you today, 10 years later? How does that differ from the woman we just, you know, talked about?
Oh, I love that question. It makes me a little emotional, because you know so much of the struggle, right? And I think it makes me emotional because, like I said in the beginning, like it's so full circle, and I have struggled a lot at times, and Um, when you asked me to do this, I think I had fear of like, can I tell the truth about my story? And can I be honest about the things that I've walked through? Because I don't know that I've never known my story to this degree.
Mhm.
And it's way different than I thought,
Yeah.
right? Like the veil has been lifted over and over and over again.
Mhm.
And so, I think today, like, I have this embodiment of like, I've embodied a woman that there's just so many different parts of me that I care about and I nurture and I love,
Mm.
and that I recognize. And, I'm so awake to things that I wasn't before. And I had so much self hatred for a long period of time. Um, and had not really pieced together some of the truth from my childhood, or um, really accepted some of the truths about what I had been experiencing for a really long time. And when I got sober, I thought I was going to I thought, like, I just from, being sober from drugs and alcohol, like, I thought, like, "Okay, like, now we're good, like, everything's gonna be great, and I'm gonna show up like I've always wanted to," and that just wasn't true. And so, I was in so many different toxic, abusive relationships, that really confirmed that self-hatred and
Mm.
really reiterated this thing that I was feeling inside. Like, um, our mentor and other people have always said, like, water meets its own level.
Mm.
And so I attracted a lot of people that were also in pain. And so for a long time, like, I was trying to embody this woman and like trying to survive, and looking at all these people around me that, like, I'd have these moments of, I guess, freedom or reprieve.
Mhm.
Um, but they were very short-lived, and I was always just attracting this chaos over and over and keeping that pain alive. And so I didn't know, like, when that cycle was gonna end. And, you've been with me in the depths of it where I'm just like, I just want this to be over. Like, I can't do this anymore, but I can't stop. And, to feel that and to just really keep trying was such a weird dynamic, and like, I'm like, why do I keep like doing the work, or why do and it's like
Mhm.
something in me, this little pilot light was still on, and that was like, you and our mentor Evelyn was like, it's okay, like, we're going to keep going, right? These people created a safe place for me to mess up and not be judgmental, and help me recognize, like, that it was good that I had remorse, and that, like, I'm worth saving.
Mhm.
And so, I think I was really tired for a long time, and trying to embody this woman that I was not. You talked about David Guillaume earlier, and like, my vessel, my being was not ready to hold this woman that I'm supposed to be. And so, at 8 years sober, I just hit this like wall, and my dad died, and, I got out of a, on and off, like, a relationship that I had been in twice,
Mhm.
and with another, really powerful mirror for me. And I changed jobs, and I moved, and it was just these dominoes just fell. And it was like, what are you going to do? And I fought a little longer where I was like, okay, I was in another, I was just in these other toxic situations and really trying to bring chaos into my life on and off. And there was this moment, a very small window of opportunity where, someone helped me out. And this woman was, kind of sober in relationships. And she had reached out to me before and I wasn't ready then, but I called her and she was like, these are the things you need to do. And I did them in that moment. And I was so afraid because just like you've talked about like using food and like, I've definitely used food and nicotine, all the things, right? But like boys and men, that level of validation because of this core wound that I have and like that level of like fearing abandonment, that was like a drug for me. Just like that level of like needing to be loved or validated or desired or adored or feel special. I just never felt number one or special enough. And I just always had to be the most or the best or the only. And it's like, how exhausting. That's exhausting.
Yes.
And even though, like, even with you, it showed up where I'm like, I'm your best friend, right?
Yes.
We're soulmates forever, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, girl, what? Like, chill out. But it really was like every single time, like this whole opening up. And I started to do this work to where instead of trying to fill that, what they say, like a God-sized hole or, that hole, that gaping hole that just feels so like I'm a raw exposed nerve. I emptied it and then I started to do this work to allow God to fill it. And now let me tell you, that was the most painful thing I've ever done. Like I thought getting sober from substances was painful. This was like, I mean, what it's asking me to look at, I was like, whoa, And so, of course, I had some skepticism in the beginning. But this time it wasn't like, this isn't going to work for me. I mean, there was some of that, but it was like, I cannot see my life ever healing in this area. Ever.
Yeah, I get that.
I had been powerless so many times that I was like, there's no way.
Right.
And so I feel like the woman today, girl, is like, I've been with myself and learning about myself for 2 years. And that's like out, I'm not on like, I'd never been on dating apps really, but I'm like not looking, I'm not on social media, like, and that like I've almost like, it was like God asked me to take a step back and ask, who are you really? And really start to heal that deep self-hatred.
Right.
And I would have never done anything like this, right? And I would have never let people see me. Like for a long time, I thought you were avoidant, right? Or whoever was in a relationship with me was avoidant. But like the reality was like I weaponized my emotional intelligence and I avoided by blaming other people for a really long time and made it their problem. And, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I feel so much freedom in a way that I never did before. And it's like, I'm so open to saying, I don't know and like learning stuff and like, you and I have like experienced jealousy. Like when you started this podcast, like I was like, I'm going to get left behind, and it's like this experience of like, all of that comes up again.
Yeah.
but it's so short-lived, and it's like I just feel like this woman that really had so much love for myself and like can express it in such a different way and share it, especially with you.
Mhm.
You know, like I'm going to love you no matter what, be your number one supporter.
Mhm.
Never allow that stuff to get in the way. Have hard conversations with you.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think the best way to just wrap that up is like I'm becoming the partner that I've always wanted, that I was seeking out there, you know? And that is so cool because it feels like definitely a miracle for me. So, yeah.
Like have chills. I'm like tearing up. It's because I genuinely have had a front row seat more than anyone, you know, in the last 10 years. And you know, the interesting thing is there were moments where I was scared for you, just like there were moments you were scared for me, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But I just always knew it was just a soul knowing like she's going to be okay. Like even though this is so scary and you know, it just does not look great right now, like she's going to be okay. I just knew it, you know? And I remember your last experience, like you mentioned this, I'm not going to give any details, but your last experience before you got sober in this area, like I remember being like, oh hell, you know, but I genuinely was like, nope, give her the space. It's gonna bleed dry really quick. I just knew it, you know? And sure as shit, you know, it was like coming out of the trenches one last time, and it was
looking
like
rough, right? I mean, come on, you know. It was like, here we go. I definitely, it was scary.
Yeah. But like that's the beautiful thing is that we have learned how to through each other have learned and through life experiences to the significance of learning how to parent ourselves. And then building trust within each other that like we're not going to abandon each other.
Right.
No matter how hard it gets. No matter how uncomfy it gets, you know, because I remember like that feeling coming up because we had talked about the potential of doing a podcast together. And, you know, what I love and respect about both of us and admire so much is that we have such a deep knowing and intuition. And there was something in me that was like, you have to venture on your own first. You have to push through and you have to do this thing because in part it was like, I don't want to do it alone.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I need my hype person. I need my, you know what I mean? Like it felt like the more comfy route, you know, to like do this with my person. And, you know, God was like, you have to step out in confidence and work through these things. And now it all makes sense because leading up to the first episode launching, all my shit came up. And I was like, wait, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I lied, you know?
Never mind.
But I remember calling you. And again, it was like all of that shit came up where I was like, I'm going to disappoint her. I'm going to upset her. I'm going to, you know, blah, blah, blah. Right. And it was this cool moment of like, you were like, yeah, I am disappointed. And like, I love you and I support you and I'm going to work through whatever comes up in me. And I just, there's so much power in that. Like you've taught me so much, you know, and, you know, you said that you didn't have real relationships leading up to that or didn't, you know, people left you. And like, I really hadn't either. You were the first real relationship where I showed myself fully and got to see that like you weren't going anywhere. And you could hold all my ugly, like scary to what I felt was ugly and scary parts, you know? But yeah, so I'm just, it is such a full circle moment to see the woman you are today on camera and just like kicked back, you know, just like kicked back, like not, you know, in just such a different light, you know? Just so,
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Honored.
I mean, both of us, right?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's like, I don't know what we still like have those moments that are so human and, you know, just that rat race in our brain. And it's how many times we've gotten back up and how many times we've looked at the things and continue to. It's like, yeah, I have so much respect for us, you
Mhm.
know?
I do too.
I'm so proud of us,
I am
girl.
too, girl.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the truth. Our soul print, like, we came down here on a mission. Like,
Yes, girl.
I mean, we're on a fucking mission, y'all.
Yes,
like,
we are.
and even if we wanted to stop, we can't. Like, that's the thing. Like, there's a
No.
fire in both of us where it's like we're healing generational trauma. We're here like on a deep mission.
Girl, generational
trauma.
We're healing it.
Healing it.
Yeah, that is 100. I 100% feel that. We've had so many conversations about it. I feel like that is the pilot light in both of us that has been on so many times, just there flickering.
Yep.
And because it's so confusing. I mean,
Mhm.
haven't you been confused sometimes where you're like, how did I make it through that?
Yes.
You know, where you're like, oh
Yes.
my God, like, and just so baffled by the level of grace that's
Yeah.
been given to us.
Oh my God.
Right. And to also hear
Yes.
me like say to you all these things that you don't believe about yourself.
Right.
And for you to say that to me and then now to believe it.
Right.
And but there's moments, of course, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very short-lived now. And it's
so
like
short-lived.
yeah. And so it's like, oh my God, like I don't know, to think like it's possible to like heal and continue.
Yeah.
Like those two words were really scary for me at first, you know, and yeah, it's just wild to hear you talk about it in that way.
It is, girl.
You
It
know?
is. I mean, it's just like mission is an understatement.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, and I think the world at large is so many of us are feeling this like upcalling, this like this so many of us are being called to rise.
Yes,
You
yeah.
know? And I'm just so glad I get to do it with you.
Me too.
You know?
Yeah.
It's so powerful. Yeah. So on that note, like you had mentioned skepticism, right?
Oh,
There was this skepticism coming into this where it's like, it's not that you didn't believe in a higher power or something greater. It was just, there was such a level of skepticism in like this whole world, right?
Yes.
Of like, I don't know about all that, you know?
Mhm.
And so what was the, like, was there a moment, was there some experience that really like woke you up to like leaning into this being your absolute truth? Like that there's no denying that.
I think it's been a series of experiences. Because I mean, you and I have had some, you know, that I think looking at you, and I've told you this, like at first it felt like you had this blind faith that I didn't have. Like I was like, how do you do that? And I was really trying to think my way out of everything and analyze and just rationalize. And I think that, I mean, one of the first moments that really was a catalyst for, because I was the girl that thought about, or the woman that thought about drugs and alcohol every day. And yeah, that just what really thought something was worse in me, right? I'm a 4 on the Enneagram.
Yeah. We love our
and
4.
so I thought it was so unique that like, you know, although this has helped millions, like, you know, lots of people have gotten sober,
Yeah.
like millions of people, like I'm the exception to the rule. And so yeah, there was this moment where I had been doing a lot of work and continuing and just showing up and doing all the things I was asked to do and trying my best to keep an open mind, although I had this chatter in my head. And then one day, you know, I was sitting on the patio with our mentor. And I mean, if y'all don't know her, she looks like a freaking just
fairy or
magic human.
warrior,
Like just, yeah, like she was plucked from some other planet and put here, you know?
Literally.
She's so ethereal. And I'm just staring at her and I start to cry. And she's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, I haven't thought about drugs or alcohol for 3 days. You know, and I think in that moment, the most powerful thing was like, I had just been doing the things and taking these actions that people had asked me to do or suggested, and just trusting these other people that what they were saying and their experience was real. And it was also like a blind faith like you, you know, and it was like, and then to have that where it's just like I wake up one day and I'm like, whoa, you know, that was this moment where I was like, okay, something's taking care of me. And yeah, I just felt connected to where I was like just open from that point on. And of course, I'd have moments of agnosticism. But I think like, yeah, there's been so many moments that I feel like the universe, God, the creator, whatever, has, I don't know what to call it. I'm really in a place where I'm like, what do I say it, all of them. I'm like, but that I feel like I've had these moments that have just reiterated over and over. It's like my higher power has just been like, girl, let me show you. And as my mind has opened up and that skepticism has faded and faded and faded, and I've allowed more, or I've surrendered to more and more magic, it's like I see the things even clearer, like the signs and the, you know, synchronicity and the divine timing and, you know, all of these things connecting dots and aligning. And so yeah, that was like a first moment for me because of course for someone like me and you who had suffered so long with that, and then not to do it anymore, but still think about it every day and be plagued by it. It was like, wow, like something's going on.
Yeah.
You know? And then I met you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. And, you know, I was just kind of making this connection of like, this is a woman who had such skepticism in this area and now is tapped into some abilities that I just get so hyped up about. And that is, you know, you're currently like honing and channeling, and I don't know how much you're willing to talk about, but how cool is that? Like you're a woman of skepticism now like channeling, you know, energies from different
who knows,
different realms or planets or
who knows,
like I don't know. So I would share with us like what that's been like.
Yeah, I for a long time, like I was so I didn't know how to meditate. Like I didn't, you know, I got on my knees and prayed at night and in the morning, and I was just very by the book, and I was very creative though. I've always been super creative and kind of odd, right, in certain ways. And you know, I make these funny odd correlations with things, and just experience a lot of imagery. And I don't know, like a lot of things in my brain were very vivid for a long time, and I just thought everyone experienced that, and I'm sure lots of people do. Like I feel like we all have abilities, maybe they're just not, we're not tapped into them, or you know, the skepticism or the logic gets in the way all the time. But there was this, you know, one moment which you remember, I had a dream about my dad, my biological dad, dying. And, you know, he was in a hospital bed in front of me. And I woke up sweating, and it was so vivid and real that I was like, I was just kind of shocked because I don't even remember dreaming about him before. Right. And then for 4 days, it was just all over me. And I think on the fourth day, I mean, and just his presence was all over me. And on the fourth day, my brother called me and he said, you need to get to Minnesota, Fargo, North Dakota, both
Represent.
Yeah. But you need to get to Minnesota right now. Dad's not doing well. He's in the hospital. And
chills.
Yeah. And so I was so like, no way. Right. Like, and I walked into that experience talking to our mentor, and, you know, her saying like, your perspective and thought life can steal this away from you. and you can have a totally new experience if you want to. And from that moment on, leaving the airport bathroom, I was like, okay, no matter what happens, like, I'm going to do my best to like be with the Creator and be with God and just show up for my family. And so all these beautiful things happen. I mean, I could go through a list where even, some of my family members were like, what? But my dad died in front of me in a hospital bed the same way he did in my dream.
Mm.
And so, although that was really sad and devastating, it was so loving. And like this, like, I got this, insight and clairvoyance into something, a huge moment in my life.
Mhm.
And so at that moment, I was like, oh my God, I'm like, really, like, when I get back home, I was kind of panicking because I'm like, what if I have other dreams like this?
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
what if this continues to happen? Like, I don't have any skill, like, I don't know anything about this. Like, I had some things happen before, but I just wasn't sure,
Mhm.
and thought people would think I was crazy, right? And so, yeah, I talked to my first psychic and just started to kind of practice. And I still at certain moments, like, feel the skepticism come in.
Mhm.
But the cool thing is like, I know my dad, and my mom too, but like my biological dad he was very mysterious and had like this deep connection.
Mhm.
And, the psychic was like, and of course, like right now, my skepticism comes up because I'm like, how do I want to say this? But she said that, on my dad's side, like all these women, had these abilities.
Mm.
And then another psychic I met with said that, right? And I'm just like, it was like very fast experience.
Mhm.
But I started to like really hone in and like try to let go and surrender my judgment.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's been so many cool experiences. And somebody that was very close to me, he used to be close to me, he had some abilities too. And he was pretty logical and skeptical and really had never talked about it. And it was like, that encouraged me. And it was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not like crazy.
Mhm.
And of course, our mentor is very in tune. And so now, girl, I'm just like, I feel like I've spoken to like, I have guides, and I have, I feel like I've spoken to like people who have passed on, and,
My grandpa?
you've
Yeah.
experienced that, and just some really specific memories that people who have passed on will share with me. And like yours was so specific, like holding a
Mhm.
bag of marshmallows, roasting them in this indoor fireplace. I'm like, that's so specific.
Mhm.
Um and then getting confirmation from your mom about it, like stuff like that. It was like, wow, like,
Mhm.
okay, and so I'm really just trying now to own that part of myself,
Mhm.
because everybody who loves me and knows me, um, really knows that that's there.
Mhm.
And I feel really safe and seen and understood. I think the thing that has made me the most nervous is like how much attaches to me at moments, and
Mhm.
how much like I've been unwilling to really protect myself in that way or take care of myself, where I've been like, oh, it's fine, like I'll be okay, like I
Mhm.
don't uh take responsibility sometimes for like having gifts, or
Mhm.
just being a little empath walking around.
Mhm.
And so I've really suffered in moments because of that. But yeah, I feel like I'm excited because I just want to normalize a lot of it.
Mhm.
And it is such a cool thing that I was such a big skeptic, because I know lots of them walking around and then they tell me about these little moments that they have that they're afraid to tell anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, you have the thing. We all have the thing. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
me, right?
I think just some of our gifts are more pronounced.
Sure.
Because there's a purpose for our
Right.
life, you know? And I do believe that's going to be a big part of your unfolding,
For
you
sure.
know,
Yeah.
is probably incorporating that into a future career path, you know?
Yeah.
Because it serves as service to others,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And spiritual awakening for the collective,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think that it excites me now more than it scares me, which is really cool. I feel way safer in different ways, and it's like it gives me a lot of joy to like explore spirituality now,
Mm-hmm.
which before it was like, what are you guys talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and like just always trying to poke holes. What a miserable experience, you know?
Yeah.
Like, golly, just shut up, Jordyn, you know? Like, it's just like, who cares? And who am I to say?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like some of the things that people have described to me, I don't care if you're off your rocker.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear the story.
Yeah.
You know, I hold space for whatever you saw, whatever you experienced, you know, and like that was not me before.
Right. Well, and like I think that brings up such a good point. Like that is how we were conditioned for a reason, right? Because I'm just gonna fucking say it. I really think that like the government knows. Sorry,
I'm
but
just gonna say it.
I do. I think the
love it.
government knows a lot more than they're willing to let on. And so it's like, how can we keep them in this container of unknowing?
Yeah.
You know, and so that puts us, people like you and me, in a position to question some of the stuff that we hear, we see, whatever. And we're at this point where we're like, I fucking believe it now. You know, you tell me. I remember that this client that I was transporting one time, or I don't remember anyways, she was a client of ours and she had gone to do Reiki. Did I tell you this story? Yeah. I was already in this world. Like there's a part of my soul that's been like, tell me more, you know, like what is this bullshit? Yeah. But I remember she had come back, she had gotten Reiki, and the person who was doing the Reiki on her said at one moment, and just a little backstory, this specific client would have these episodes where she needed to get into the water. And she was so obsessed with the water.
Oh, yeah.
And she would start like freaking out and having this experience, and we would have to ground her, right? But so that's significant because this person who was doing Reiki, when she gasped, the woman was like, "What?" And she was like, she described that she saw this blue water being that this woman like transitioned into this like blue water being when she was touching her for a second.
Wow.
And come to find out that this person who we labeled as crazy, anyways, she claimed to have been living a separate life, or a life on a different planet, and that this being was dying.
Oh no.
And that's why she kept going to the water and having these episodes. And the whole time, all these like doctors and other providers that are taking care of her are like, psychosis, you know, and I'm over here like, oh hell no, this is happening. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, tell me fucking more. You know what I mean? And so I don't really know where I was going with that, except that like I think so many of us are conditioned to believe that that's crazy.
Well, yeah, and it's like, you know, I think that it's no accident, right? Like you and I, first of all, have taken the long way around in a lot of different ways, right? And because we've recognized that shortcuts don't work. We've tried them.
Yeah.
And it's like we've had to be really patient, but we've also had to go against the grain in a lot of different ways because we've been asked to go against the grain in this healing in a lot of different ways. And it's like, sometimes that's believing the girl who's on another planet dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is okay.
Yeah.
And it is, like you said, healing generational trauma and just all this stuff that, you know, most recently our parents experienced in society, and a lot of the ways that we were raised to think, which wasn't like necessarily bad. It's just like confining.
Sure.
And so it's like so relieving and liberating to like just be like, who cares? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
what if that's real?
what if, right?
Yeah.
And to like consider it. And it's like, and to not have to prove all these things, quote unquote, wrong.
Right.
You know, and if it, and like, I love that our mentor says like what works and what doesn't, because I just had so much judgment left and right for myself and everyone else that it kept me so separate. And like letting down that facade, that wall, like, and just being like, I have no idea, has been so freeing and so like has connected me, and just I've felt the flow of life. And that is like not what I expected from just shifting into like, I have no idea and I'm willing to consider it, you know, and believe you.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it's like, yeah, we've definitely, and you know, I think too, like right now, like this in me, because I was just thinking about the like being on a podcast today, and I'm like, the story, my story, anything I believe right now, that's what I believe right now. It does not mean like next year, 2 years from now, that I will have the same beliefs. And it doesn't mean that like we're evolving. You and I have evolved so much.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah. Well, just in the
It's like
last
night
2
and day.
months.
Yeah.
Even that jump has
I
been
know.
massive. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
literally.
And so it's like I feel like we have just really, what I pulled this value card the other day, and that's what I'm trying to think of, but like, oh, we've just really created space and safe environments for people to explore in that way, and to just, you know, take all these different parts of themselves and thought processes and creativity into consideration.
Yeah.
And like and it's like we're very inclusive. And it's not just like we're healing our own stuff.
Right.
It's like we're like sharing that experience, so it's like more normalized.
Right.
And I love that, because I didn't have really anyone that could, besides Evelyn and you, for a long time, where it was like, hell yeah, let's do this. Let's learn this, you know?
Yeah.
Let's go down this path, you know? And it was
Totally.
exciting and scary at moments, but, and you know, when people, I'm healing that part of me, or working on this part of me where I am not going to be understood. Like I'm not. But I'll catch myself, girl, explaining XYZ, being long-winded as hell, you know, just like trying really hard to get this person to change their facial expression about me being a psychic or a medium, you know what I mean? Or like whatever it is, like, or how this idea is going to work. And it's like, no, that, you know, it's like learning this, like, can I validate me?
Yes.
Can God validate me? Can I be understood by me? And like paint this new way, or it's not even new. It's like just this way that I'm being called.
Yeah.
And it looks unrealistic to me, or just so far-fetched, or like crazy. And what we've recognized is like so many things we thought about our life before was like, well, we'll never achieve that. We'll never be there.
Right.
And here we are.
Right. Yeah.
You know? So it's like,
yeah.
I've been proven wrong so many times.
Totally. Yeah.
And I really appreciate that now, because I'm like, wow. You know?
Well, that makes me think about, I just recorded a friend earlier, and one of the things he said was he walked away from the situation, a spiritual experience, and he was like, oh my God, like what else do I not know, God?
Right.
You know? And that's just, it's, what else do I not? I feel like we live more in that place than not, you know?
For sure.
And the other point I was going to make too was like there has been this dance of learning discernment through this process
Mhm.
too. Like it's a big responsibility to have this information
Mhm.
and this like to be a part of this like unfolding
Mhm.
and learn how to, because not everybody's ready for this information.
No.
Not everybody can hold it, and that's okay. But it's something that's been kind of heartbreaking for me along the way, is having to A, be okay with being misunderstood.
Yes.
B, being okay with some souls are never going to be ready or
Sure.
for that level of evolution in this
Yeah.
lifetime.
Mhm.
And or that it may come later in life.
Yeah.
And you don't get to speed up that process
Yeah.
for people. That's hard for me because I just want to take people with me.
Oh, me too.
I'm like, no, come on.
I've literally felt like I've
Yeah.
been leaving people behind, and it's
Dude, I've
heartbreaking.
said that lately.
Yeah.
It's been heartbreaking. Well,
Mhm.
we talked about that, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's like all the divine relationships that we've experienced,
Mhm.
and all the people, you know, it's like, it's just like, I want to give you the answer.
Yeah.
Take the answer.
Yeah.
And it's like, lots of people wanted to give me the answer, and it wasn't time.
Yeah.
Like, divine timing is so important.
Mhm.
And, but for me, it was like that ego, you know, egoism of like, no, like, we're going to figure this out now. I know what to do
Yeah.
to fix it. And it's
Mhm.
like just totally negating, you know, the divine, like what's supposed to happen.
Divine order, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know what experiences they need, but I know that I needed all of mine to get where I am, to really deeply heal
Mhm.
and take out the root, like get to the root, you
Right.
know? And it's like, had I not gone through all of those things, I don't know that it would like completely heal, or I'd feel that freedom. Like I'd still feel that attachment or that suffering.
Mhm.
And so also, like, what did he say? He said, "Oh, God, what do I not know?"
Mhm.
Right? There was something when you said that I was like, oh, it's something that it's similar to what we're just talking about, but the divine timing of like the acceptance of right now I don't get to know.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
like God is like, you know, there's been so many scenarios where it's like, leave this,
Mhm.
do this, take this leap,
Yep.
and I don't get to know what's on the other side yet, but I'm being asked now to do the thing,
Mhm.
right? I don't know what it's going to look like. Or it's just like, I really want to understand why this is happening,
Yeah.
or what is going on, or like, what do you want me to learn, or why am I still stuck here?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
and those times where I'd be like, just tell me, you know, I just want to know,
Mhm.
as if it would make it any
Better.
better.
Easier.
Right. And so those times it's like, God, what do I not know? And sometimes the answer is like, you don't need to know right now.
Right.
And that experience has been so tough because, like, you're talking about, like, I want to control the narrative.
Mhm.
I want to, you know, I want people to view me this way, or I don't want to leave people behind.
Mhm.
And like not knowing the why in those moments,
Right.
or not getting to know
Mhm.
when they're going to think of me in a certain way. Like, cause that's been my experience, is like, is this person ever going to be okay?
Right. Yeah.
Cause I care about them so much. Are they ever going to
Mhm.
make it, or my idea of make it? Right.
Sure.
And, yeah, that's been one of the most painful things, is like detaching from someone else's like divine course, and, not knowing what it's going to look like, you know?
Yeah.
And staying the course with us, like ours.
And also like respecting that, like that might be exactly what that might be it for them, and that might be good a fuck enough. You know what I
Totally.
mean? Like, and people who I just feel like I don't know how to be surface level. I don't know. I just know deep. That's like my
I
fucking
just know deep.
I
Girl.
just know deep. Like that's it. You know what I mean? Like
We gotta
So
get a shirt or something that says, I just know deep.
I just know deep,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know how to be like, so how's your grandma doing? I don't
I mean,
care.
yeah.
You know
Like
what I'm
where
saying?
you're really like where it's like inauthentic
Yeah.
or, you know, I mean, we can do that, but it's not our comfort zone.
No, it's not my
Yeah.
comfort zone. And so, but for some people, like that's okay.
Oh,
Like they want to
totally.
live in that space.
Oh,
And I'm like,
yeah.
but
And they're
and there's
meant to.
and they're meant to, and there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But like because my, natural state is like wanting to go really deep, I
Mhm.
assume everybody else should do that too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or want that.
Yeah.
You know?
And when they're not ready and they're offended by
Yeah.
you trying to go there.
Right.
I've experienced that.
Totally.
And I've really hurt some people with that. I've
Yes.
really deeply hurt some people by pushing them when they're not ready.
Yeah.
To look at certain things in shadows and darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in relationships.
Totally.
And I've experienced so much remorse with that. And it's like, yeah, learning that respect of like, it's so powerful because it's like, it goes back to like, who am I to say?
Right.
And like, how cool for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm over here this dark, like at moments just so dark and moody and like, planning how my funeral's gonna look, what songs y'all are gonna play. Totally my personality. And it's like just so caught in like these the future of the past on a consistent basis that some of these people I'm sure are really present and like really just about what's going on right now. And I'm like, how cool for you, because that is not always my majority of the time not my experience.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think what we have experienced is like seeing a lot of pain in people.
Yeah.
And just wanting to help them get out of it and
Right.
help them like heal it, not necessarily once and for all, but like to where it's like more manageable and they don't feel so trapped by it.
Right.
And that's not always what's meant to happen. And yeah, that's tough.
Well, and I heard this somewhere where somebody said the potential, quote, quote, that you see in other people is only like looking at what you would do in their situation. And that really hit home for me, where it was like, oh, that's what's happening. I'm projecting like what I would do in your situation. And like, it's not a bad motive, right? It's because I care and I see like so much more.
Oh yeah. And I think too, and this is just, it just came up for me when you said that, my experience has been like also the potential is like one like what you could give me if you were that way.
Totally.
And then two, what I think I'm lacking
in me. Yeah.
And that's like, when I heard this, it's mostly in romantic relationships, but there was another podcast I was listening to a while back, and she just said, she was talking about the chemical like response or whatever when you see somebody that's like probably not the best, like it's about to be a toxic situation, right? It's like that high or whatever that you get with a person where you're just caught off guard. And like she was like, that's chemical. And she's like, that when I experience that, I know that that's my inner child like seeking, what I think I need or what I've been missing in you. And that like, and I've never experienced, I've only really experienced that, so I don't know really anything different. So I can't really speak on the other side except with you. You've been, and dude, we are the Meredith Grey.
Oh, 100%. Christina Yang.
And Christina Yang.
Yeah.
And just like, you're my person, this recognition. And it's just been such a cool example of like, oh, that's what it's supposed to feel like. Just because, of course, people want a partner one day or like want a successful relationship. I think all of them have been successful because we've learned so much.
Of course.
But it's like, well, if you don't get like butterflies or like, I'm not saying you won't, but it's like, if that may not be the best indicator that this is a
grounded.
Right. If I'm not grounded when I meet somebody like we were when we met and how our, relationship has evolved, it's like, if I didn't have that example, I would have no idea.
Right.
You know, if I didn't experience this relationship with you
Mhm.
and have, you know, like such a trust and a love,
Yeah.
I would have no clue,
Yeah.
you know. Now intuitively, I feel like now maybe I would know more like, oh, the recognition of someone, but
Sure.
I feel like your example, our relationship has been just such a gift for
Totally.
that.
Totally. And like, so as what I'm thinking is like so many of us come to, you know, interaction with this person that we're now seeking out, or they're seeking us out, or whatever, from a place of lack,
Mhm.
right? And that's why it feels so good,
Oh, yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
you're saying. But I think, you know, when people really do the work on themselves and come
Mhm.
to the table as a whole human being and
Yes.
not from a place of lack,
Yeah.
then like this is just an extra like cherry
In
on the top
addition.
cool experience.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not like a need,
Right,
you know?
exactly. And then yeah, and it's just like you're not I used to have this experience like, "Oh, there's the answer.
Yes.
There's the answer." And it's like, I
Mhm.
don't need an answer right
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
I have this I am the answer. God's the answer, like, you know,
Mhm.
and that's so odd because I just never
Yeah.
experienced that before. But yeah, it's like, you know, there'll be an addition. You're right.
Mhm.
I feel
Yeah.
that way too because
Yeah.
you're an addition to my life.
Totally. And like I
You're
listen
an
to
addition.
yes, girl. And I like listen to love songs and send them to you
Oh, I
because
know, I
that's
know.
and it's just changed my whole view on love in general. You
Yeah,
know, like the
yeah.
Taylor Swift song,
Oh, I
right?
know Lover. That's our
Lover.
song.
Yeah.
That's our song.
It is our song
Yeah,
for
yeah.
life.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. First off, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that anybody in our life has ever thought we're lesbians together?
Oh, sure.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think that, right?
100%.
Okay, okay. Or
Yes.
like we've, you know, slept
Like, I've
together.
been curious about that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And
Absolutely.
they're like, oh,
Why are
like with
they
our connection,
so
or why did
fucking
they snuggle? Or
yes.
yeah, yeah.
100%,
I think
girl.
that, you know,
Yes.
I think people have been like, this is something else.
For sure. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people get really our relationship brings up something in them, and I think it's just like a longing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we can just stare at each other, like be,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes,
like
or
each other's blinky,
yeah.
you know. But also, something I wanted to ask is, okay, what is maybe one of the things that you do in private or secret that you would be embarrassed for anyone to know?
Oh, it's such a good question. What do I do in private that I wouldn't want that I'd be
I'm trying to
embarrassed
think of
for
mine. I
anyone to
asked the question, I'm
know?
like, do I know the answer?
Well, I would love one day to be able to just like take my little flipper out and just fucking walk around like not give a shit.
Yeah.
Put a video on, like, you know what
We
I
will
mean?
do that. We will do
For
that.
those that can't see because they can't see the video, I had a baby tooth and
Uh-huh.
that never came out. So my whole
Yeah.
life I just had a little baby tooth thing. Well, it cracked and I had to get it pulled. I had braces. They made an adult, like a space for an adult tooth because I was going to get a implant. And like I just got this really nice fucking flipper that
Yeah.
like you can't even tell unless
Yeah.
you like know. And it's so funny, but it's like I have this huge missing tooth in the front,
Yeah.
you know?
It's so cute.
And with the people in my life, I don't care, but it's like it's alarming. The other night we were at Chewy's and Emily had not seen it like that,
Oh,
right?
really?
No, not like that, where I'm
Oh.
like, oh, you know. But Danielle has the same thing.
Oh,
She
oh,
has the
yeah.
same flipper.
Mhm.
But it's so funny because it's so alarming to people
Mhm.
where they're like, whoa,
What on earth?
you
Yeah. I
know?
love it. I think it's so
Yeah.
funny.
But I don't know. I'd have to think about that. What about you?
Well, I was thinking about like when
Oh, I smell my armpits sometimes and I
I
like
feel
the
like,
smell.
oh yeah, we like the smell of like our
Yeah,
own
my own
body.
pheromones and
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
for sure. I think that's so normal.
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like I get a lot of boogers. You know what I mean? And I have such a small nose. And I think like someone told me once, what someone close to us was like they picked their boogers in the car.
Uh-huh.
And I totally have done that multiple
Mhm.
times. Maybe, I don't know, a lot. And
Mhm.
like to think about like using a tissue every time you pick your brain. Do you do that?
No.
Right?
Come on,
But
it's
like
inconvenient
people
sometimes.
try to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Something I think. Okay. But like, okay, yeah, like we don't use tissue ever. Like, right? You don't use tissue.
Oh, yeah, we don't wash our hands very much.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, remember,
Public service now, we don't wash our hands very much.
Public service what?
Announcements. What I
You
meant to
said
say,
announce. But remember, I think we used to turn on the water if someone else was in there.
Jordyn doesn't give a shit. She'll just like
What?
I noticed it when we were at the Jesse Murph concert.
What did I do?
You came out of the stall because I'm the one who always fakes it when I'm around people because I don't want, sometimes I don't, but like you'll just fucking straight up come out of the stall and be like, okay, leave.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
I love it.
But I have washed my hands more now because of where we work and also taking care of a baby.
Yeah.
I nannied for the sweetest little boy on the planet. But yeah, no, like in certain situations, I'm like, I'm not doing that. And then also like, I don't know, like picking your nose is normal, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
don't know.
that go straight up in your, like they're the perfect size for the hole.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I mean, hello?
Do you think they have, well, I'll get back on whatever you want to ask me, but
no.
Do you think they have like something that you can use, like a fake, well, yeah, they have fake fingers. We can use them to
I mean, shit,
but it's not gonna work.
What did our ancestors do when they had a booger in their nose?
I don't know.
You think they fucking
no
use their handkerchief? No. They use
not a handkerchief.
They used their skirt or whatever flap they
Girl,
had covering
their They didn't have a skirt.
Their flaps.
They didn't have
their
flaps.
grass or whatever it was that they used. Their hide. I mean, who knows? They probably just used their finger and wiped it on earth.
They didn't have chairs. Remember when you said that? Here we go. Okay, we're getting back on.
My God. No, it's great. Okay. What do you feel like your soul is here to teach or experience in this lifetime?
Ooh. Well, I used to use the word mediocre. And I think that can be really negative. But I think a lot of what my soul is here to experience, because the reason I say that is because I felt super mediocre. Like almost there, right? Like in my dance career and being pretty and like being successful, like it just always felt like I was just like almost like I had potential. Everyone's like, you have so much potential, whatever, right? And it was like, or I'd be like second best. And I think like first it's like learning like to trust God and like what's meant for me. I will be a magnet for that. Another thing is like Evelyn said it like, she's like in the front of the train. There's all these like beautiful, decadent, foods and drinks and beautiful people dressed to the nines and, waiters and crystal glassware. And she was like, that's so beautiful, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, but you want to be on the back of the train with your people. And I think that like just learning what it is to be a person among people and not spend my life fighting for what I think I need to be okay, or like this grandiose idea of my life. Like, doesn't mean it can't get bigger. It doesn't mean it can't get more beautiful, but it's like, I don't have to like fight for this grand idea of what I thought my life was going to be for people to love me.
Yeah.
And, I am special and I am like, it's like a coming home. And I feel like my soul was here, like put here to like really take a step back and be like, you are here to help people recognize the light, the love. Like you are here to spread this message of like inclusivity and like, just everybody's included. You are welcome. Like you are so special. You are so beautiful in your own way. Like you are so powerful. And I get to use all of my pain and misconceptions and like, old ideas to do that now. And I feel like, I've surrendered more and more to that idea because for a long time, my biggest fear was like, I don't want an ordinary life. And what I'm like, I always said, I don't want to live in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't want to, just be trapped is what I thought. But I I didn't turn out that way. That's not what's going on now. I'm not trapped. I feel,
Right.
and I don't live in a cul-de-sac, but
Yeah.
but it's like I do feel like my soul's purpose is just to help people heal and just experience their own wisdom.
I love that.
Yeah, and love each other.
Yes, and love each other.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
If you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be to help her along on the journey?
That is such a powerful question because I feel like I could write a book on that, right? Like I do. I really feel like I want to tell her so many things. I think the main thing for where I'm at right now is you are loved for exactly who and what you are for eternity, forever. Your sensitivity, your beauty, your power, your pain, like all of it. Your weirdness, your quirkiness, your intelligence, like you are loved exactly for who you are and how you are, because I didn't, feel that way for a long time. And so, yeah, I would want her to know that. And I feel like I'm telling her that a lot now. And there's this other voice now that I never used to hear before that is like, that really challenges that side of me that's so critical. It's like, girl, that's not true. Girl, we love you.
Yes.
Your new curves are
sexy
delicious,
and womanly, and just,
yes,
queen.
like you are. It's like this other voice that I just never had, and it's because I've been talking to her, that little girl, and telling her like, I got you. I'm here. We don't need to survive anymore.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
So obviously people can't find you on social media, right? I mean, they can,
They
but
can't find me,
you ain't on
period.
there.
Period. They can't find me.
Yeah, they can't find me. But we didn't really talk about what you do today, which is you have a you have the movement lab.
Yes, I do.
And it is, in its infancy, but it's going to be this powerhouse of an experience. And so, yeah,
Yes.
tell us what that's like, how you came to that.
Yeah.
And where to find it.
Oh, okay. So thank you for plugging that in there. I feel like the movement lab, of course, was just this idea that somebody had to teach where we work. And they wanted it to be like dance therapy. And I was like, what is dance therapy? I had never heard of that in my life. And so I was like, I'll come up with something. I would love to do that. And, I've done these performances being sober in the community where I teach different choreography and for these shows. And so like there was this combination of me learning I love to teach. And I love to teach people who maybe have never danced or moved in their life, and to see the light come on in their body and their movement. And so in these different powerful, beautiful moments. I say powerful because they caught me off guard. I was asked to teach this movement class, and I've seen like older, like CEO men take my class and be barefoot in the grass and cry. And I've seen like little girls who just have so much pure energy take my class. And the movement lab is, just a healing movement class where I use all the things that I've learned from being a dancer, but also just being sober and like healing, like doing somatic work. Like I put all this stuff together and just create, right now it's only for women, but create this really safe place for people to like come home to their bodies, to like connect with other women, to experience their feminine energy, to be held and like, just kind of sink into like the moment and let some stuff out and go. And everything's welcome there. We've had people sit and like rock themselves and cry. We've had like just, so many healing moments. I got to bring my mom and, her experience, she's had some tough experiences lately with her health, and got to build her up. And just, I think it's like this developing, I'm developing with other women this place where we really get to like embody the light together, like this light that maybe we don't tap into all the time. And we get to be really authentic and play like little kids and like cry. And and of course sometimes a lot of people, it's uncomfortable. It's not always comfortable, but the cool thing is like there's no rules, so whoever comes in there can experience and do whatever they want. They don't have to participate in everything, but I give guidance in there, and I it's mostly free movement though, but I give some encouragement. We do different things together, and it's all different. It's based on my intuition and what I feel the energy is in the room, and it's growing. I'm learning so much myself about, I didn't recognize I needed it so much too, but I love to share just this gift I've been given in this way because, I thought I danced for no reason. I thought I like, did this whole thing for a really long time and there was no reason for it. But now I found it, and it's like, I mean, it's just such a cool experience. So it's MVMNT LAB, 2 separate words, Movement Lab, and it's at Communities for Recovery every second and fourth Sunday right now, from 12 to 1:30, and like all women are welcome. I mean, you don't have to be like sober or, but yeah, wear whatever you want. Don't shower. Like it's a loving place. I'll bring tarot cards, oracle cards, Palo Santo for people. And yeah, we just share loving energy and raise the vibration and gather together.
It is. I mean, it is such a powerful experience, and I've gotten to witness you on stage where you fucking shine. Like I've been able to work alongside you, like as you teach choreography, where I'm not I'm not very,
She kills it.
It takes a lot more for me,
But you still get it.
But you're such a great teacher, and then having this experience at the Movement Lab has been like so, moving energy that I need to move sometimes, and just having this beautiful experience of witnessing and being witnessed, so
yeah,
I'm just so proud of you, and I'm so grateful for our relationship, and this is just the beginning of our mission, and I'm grateful you're here, and
thank you.
You're such a powerful human being, Jordyn.
So are you.
Thank you for being here. I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Yes. All right. May the cord that binds us to one another and to Source remind you that you were never alone, always guided, and always home. Until next time.
Until next time.